off your phone.
I was just about to say that. Put that damn phone down. How dare you?
I was doing my average.
You have to still do math on your phone?
Get off your phone.
I'm sorry.
Get off your phone.
Not really.
That's a fucking excuse. Any good mathematician.
I'm not a mathematician.
It's a modern day like lighthouse. Get off your phone.
Hark.
The seabirds hate it. They're all gens.
They'll shit on it.
They're all the generation of the boomer.
They are, though, aren't they?
Wait, have you had some of this? Hark juice?
I just had a sip.
We need you need to take a picture
Have
of it
another sip.
and post it.
Sip? You can't sip Hark juice.
You gotta chug that shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Who
That's how you
goes
put
first?
how you put the shit on your arms. What's the saying? How you put the hair on your chest?
Yeah, it
Yes.
puts hair on your chest.
Yeah.
Not the shit on your arm.
Yeah.
That's not how I heard it.
That's not the correct use of the
I've been
idiom.
putting the shit on my arms.
Actually, I've been putting that shit on my arms.
All right. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Hark. Hark it. You call that a hark?
I don't give in to peer pressure.
Well, aren't you special?
I'm not like Cool Cat.
That's cool, cat.
Wow.
Give in
All
to
right.
peer
So
pressure.
Yes.
thanks for hanging out for like a minute and 47 seconds before we even introduced that we were keep stream skip. So
Keep us.
Yay.
welcome back. If you're on this episode, which I think is 12.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't really keep track of the number.
It's November 8th.
Are you saying you streamed
2024, and if you haven't gone to our past episodes, please do. But what we do is we go back, review movies, new and old, or new-ish and old, and we let you know if we keep, stream, or skip it. We'll go over things like screenplay, direction, acting, cinematography, editing, special effects, and overall the score.
So there are spoilers.
There are spoilers, and we tell you where you can stream it, and also, we give you the budget too and some fun facts, which I totally forgot to look up fun facts.
Oh, me too. Well, I have a couple.
We're gonna do this on the fly.
I'm on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you, boo.
we're a little scatterbrained. What we did is we did a new thing called the Wheel of Whatever, and there is a ton. I don't even know how many. I think there's 200 genres and subgenres, and we spun it, and whatever it landed on, we had to find it. So the first one is space opera. Now you might ask, what is a space opera? Well, that would be like Star Wars,
Well,
Star
I looked
Trek.
it up.
Star Trek.
See, I looked it up. The official definition of a space opera.
What is it?
Oh.
And it is a subgenre of space adventures, romance, warfare, and in a fictional galaxy.
Fictional galaxy, far, far away, which is where we all wish we were.
While watching.
Anyways, so
All right, so we also decided when we spin the wheel
of whatever, which
whatever,
is genres.
we have to choose a movie that none of us saw.
Oh yeah, and today's movie, or tonight rather, is Prospect.
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 It's about prospecting in space. Yes, that's right, like gold mining in space. And boy, howdy, it's about prospecting in space,
Yeah.
not Haktua in space.
I wish.
All right, so this movie was made in 2018, and we ask why.
Why?
Why?
Well, hold on. We have to get to, it's a sci-fi and obviously space opera. I guess a little bit of action in there. Who are the writers and directors?
Christopher Caldwell and Zeke Early, and both the directors and the writers.
Who?
Christopher Caldwell and Zeke Earl.
Yeah. So, Zeke Earl?
Zeke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like
it didn't really come up on the
Z-E-E-K.
mic, which is why I'm pointing to my headphones.
Oh.
You were like, no, it's Zeke Earl. And over Christopher Mike. Yeah, that's who it is. So it may have picked up. I don't know.
You don't have to apologize for anything.
Wait a second. I'm a woman. I do.
And we're back. Woof. So they wrote and direct this space opera. And the actors are... oh, by the way, speaking of players here, my name is Nick Morose.
I'm Samantha.
Oh, Juliana.
There we go. Okay, just in case you are tuning into this episode, oddly enough, if you are starting with this episode, go back to the first one.
Meow.
Yeah, and then start watching it from there
Cats.
because we have callbacks to all sorts of stuff. So catch up on the season. Anyways, we have Pedro Pascal and others.
Sophia Thatcher.
Sophie Thatcher. Sorry, Sophie Thatcher, who plays the best ever apathetic. Couldn't care less about what's going on.
Didn't need to be there.
Oh no,
She didn't even
my
cry.
father died.
Yeah.
Oops. Huh. Oh, I'm about to die. There's a lot of just hearing people breathing in helmets.
Apparently, most of the dialogue in their helmets were just actually taken while they were speaking in the helmets. Like there wasn't any.
Couldn't tell that.
Yeah, right?
So you want me to go where?
The fuck are they saying?
Clear?
Say it again.
Oh, clear. Okay.
Clear?
Clear. Yeah, clear.
Where?
Oh, shit. I think there's a fucking ant in my shoe. It looks like it was filmed in Vancouver.
It was filmed in Washington State.
Oh, I was... God damn it. That was my first guess.
Yep.
And I said
That's
Vancouver.
why. Remember that face I made when you were like, "What are you gonna do to that microphone?" That was my surprise.
Oh.
That was like, "Oh,
Oh, my
it was
God.
Washington."
You know, that might be Kismet there. So...
What?
Kismet, you know. It was meant to be.
Kismet.
It was meant to be.
So meant to be.
Lisa. So... All right, so they filmed this in Washington, only Washington. So if you want to see people running around in spacesuits in the state of Washington the entire time, the entire time.
Can you say it one more?
The entire
time.
Yeah.
It was a very affordable film, I'm guessing. Did anybody catch the budget on this?
No.
I've not looked that up.
All right,
The
well,
other
while
fun
you do that,
facts.
I'll give the summary. So the summary of this for all of you, and again, we do spoilers, is that you meet the titular character played by Sophie in a space pod station-esque thing outside of this moon, maybe planet, probably moon, since you see a giant planet in the background in one of the shots. But you could tell that the father is kind of like skeezy and weird. He's like taking eye drops and popping pills, and he barely lands the thing without killing them. And
You look like your mother.
oh yeah, that was weird. After he took drugs, that's just yeah, no. Why are you doing this?
We're talking about weird.
No, I'm not going around.
But anyhow, yeah.
I'm not doing it. Not going there. Not going there. All right, so
So then they land.
yeah, they did. Do you want to take the summary on this one?
No,
You go,
I was just trying to help you out.
then tell her to stop doing blowjob sounds in the microphone.
I'm sorry, it's Bella.
It's
Swan.
Bella Swan. Ghost blowjob. So all right. So they land on the planet, and then you're trying to figure out what's going on. But the hint of what it is all about is called Prospect, as in you're basically following a father-daughter duo who is going to go prospecting for these ultra rare mineral-esque gems that are produced by these creatures that are in the ground in this planet. They can't breathe the air. They pull it out. They cut the umbilical cord where it looks like a giant sperm. Just be honest.
I'm going to be super for real. I thought that's where Pedro Pascal was going to come from, was like one of the eggs that was taken out of the ground. And then they cut the umbilical cord. And then it rapidly grew into Pedro Pascal.
That did not happen, though.
That would
It And Juliana
I
was
just
very
pictured a very
disappointed.
tiny, slimy Pedro Pascal with the beard already developed.
Do you remember what Voldemort looked like when they threw him into
Oh
the
my God,
pot?
that's right. Yeah.
That's what I was like expecting, like a little Pedro Pascal that would like grow into fully grown Pedro Pascal. I'm not even joking. That was my first theory.
I had to drink some more for that one.
Okay, I think I need one too.
Yeah, slimy Pedro Pascal.
I had to share because it was not correct.
Maybe
at
not.
all,
Maybe
but I
maybe
think,
not share that.
I think that would
maybe
have
keep
been
that
more
one to yourself.
interesting.
Maybe somebody will steal it and use it as a movie.
Yeah, don't steal. Trademark.
Copyright.
Shit. They already got it. Mark.
She's not even drunk, guys. I mean, she's not. This is sober, Juliana.
Ish.
Sober-ish.
Yeah.
All right. So where the hell was? Oh yeah. So they're on the planet, and they're going through this very detailed process. So they have to pull it out of this organism, and the organism has all these defense mechanisms that if you don't do it just right, it really screws up or could blow up. And they have like a chemical process and a cutting process and all this other stuff. But essentially,
Too complicated stuff.
yeah,
It's very well thought out.
lots of jargon to make you think that it's more spacey, and it's also NASA punk. So if you're not familiar with that, check out Starfield, the game. That's very much NASA punk, and that's basically what you would think NASA would look like, but in the future, but still kind of retro. So it's sort of fun. But anyway, the dad knows how to do this, and he's going through all the bits and pieces of it, and then he pulls out this gem, and it's worth 10,000 whatevers, and it's perfect. And she's like, "Great, we got it, we can go." And it's like, "Yeah, but it'll pay off our debt, but it won't. It's not enough. We got to do more." And then they run into
Because he's greedy.
Pedro Pascal.
Right.
Well, I figured,
'Cause that's what drug addicts are.
well, yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, the problem is that like I kind of get what he means. It's like, yeah, this gets us off our debt, but it doesn't provide us more. So we'll just go right back to debt.
Right.
Right.
So I get what he's trying to say here. So I'm on his side on that. But the problem is he's doing it very loosey-goosey. And so Pedro Pascal and his buddy, who's not named, but he looks like the guy from When Evil Lurks. It's that one other horror film from the perspective of the killer. You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, oh, God.
Yeah.
It'll come to me, and I'll scream it out in the middle of the... where it
Like-
won't make any sense.
Yeah, well, it's like evil something. I don't know. Anyways,
Resident Evil.
no.
Oh.
That's it.
I was
Turning
trying to
off your
throw in
mic.
one. No, no, guys, help!
Mortal Instruments again.
Hey.
So we eventually they Pedro Pascal is kind of a bad guy, but you end up kind of rooting for him because of circumstances. The girl doesn't, I mean, because the dad's kind of a schizoid, it's like whatever. But eventually things happen where they're going back and forth in this tense moment where the girl is hiding while Pedro Pascal and his accomplice, they don't have a ship. They're stranded, and they find him and they try to take advantage of him by taking the pod that can get him out of there. And in so doing, she catches up to him and tries to stop them from what they're doing, then turns the tables on them. So down they have the guns. By the way, there's guns involved.
But are they guns?
I call them violent Nerf.
Violent Nerf guns.
Yeah, it's like weird. The
Yeah.
big guy took 3 hits and was still kicking without, and then finally a second hit, but Pedro gets hit in the arm and he has to get it cut off, which, by the way, happens later.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm like, wow.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, there are a lot of things. Now, so after her dad dies in the ensuing back and forth, and Pedro doesn't get hit just yet, the girl runs away, gets back in the pod, decides to get high for whatever reason.
Because that's the move.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Well, I mean,
After
she probably
zero-
saw her dad doing it, and she's kind of youngish.
haha,
looking.
dad's dead, do drugs.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody grieves differently. She did not seem to be.
She did not seem to agree
I love
at all.
Everybody
Grieving
grieves
and then-
differently. Like seeing your father die, going, huh, and then running, and then
And then
doing
running.
drugs.
0 tears. Like, just being like, shit. Let's get high. I don't know.
I don't know what else to do on this planet.
Speaking of.
If it, like we said, if this was a Rick and Morty episode, it would perfectly.
It would be.
It would work so
it would
well.
make so much sense. Speaking of young, she was actually 17. Like the actress Sophie Thatcher was actually 17 at the time.
Checks
'cause it
out.
took forever to film because of child labor laws.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it felt like it took forever to
Yeah,
watch.
it fucking felt forever.
So
Thanks, Sophie.
everything is meticulously like laid out, and then when you get to her in the ship, that's just her getting high, and then Pedro Pascal's character finds where Sophie's
Honey,
at.
I'm home.
Yeah, and then she nicks him in the arm with the blaster like thing, and the conversation goes on for what feels like 15 minutes.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I left the room at one point and came back, and they were still having this conversation.
Right.
Yeah, about patching them up. And then they use expandable foam from Home Depot for like healing effects, which I was like, interesting. Expandable foam. Okay. Sure.
So great.
And
That won't get infected.
now, there in previous where there was a back and forth conversation between the dad and them, they did talk about mercenaries, and it ends up being true because they do come across mercenaries, but not before they get to a cult who needs a new breeding female, and that was thrown in there.
Yeah, that was lovely to
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah,
It also made
We
me
want
think.
your daughter.
I mean, think about the role of the other little girl that played the fucking weird ass instrument that we were all looking around like Pedro Pascal in that moment, being like,
it's beautiful.
"What the fuck?"
It's just slowly playing an accordion on the same note. I
It was
call
like,
this the polka.
And I love that the like guy like moved like his hand over and just like set it on her forehead. I thought he was gonna like push her. That's what I think the motion looked like, and I was like, oh, okay. But it made me a little concerned that that was the current role of that little girl,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I got that impression too, where it was like,
because the two girls made eye contact, and it kind of looked like she was like, "Yeah, you're gonna take my place."
or so then the girl like runs
Sad
away.
accordion player. No rhyme or reason of the breeding or whatever, but they said, "Oh well, we need a mother now," and
Because her mother died.
yeah, and it's just her going like some heroin affected monkey. Like,
It was so wild. What a wild moment.
yeah, in space. I think they just filmed in fucking Washington, and people were just like, "Yeah, it checks out."
I love how they did like two things to make it look like it was space. They put a planet in the background, and they put some dust everywhere, and they were
Yeah.
like, "You're in
Spores.
space."
Well, the
And
dust
butthole fungus.
was actually like an overlay because all they did was like had dust from like in like the basement or something, filmed it, and then overlaid it on the.
I was wondering.
Then
I was
after.
like, "That
Oh, nice.
looks like
I
real
thought that
fucking
was just-
dust."
I thought they just use
Beat
effects
some
like
plants.
they did with the planet, but that's interesting. That's cool. I
They
like that. I'll
beat
give
the
them.
shit out of a couple plants.
Yeah. Well,
Give me your paw.
again, this is why I felt like it was a Rick and Morty episode because again, they run into a breeding cult and just randomly on this planet where people are trying to get these gems from sperm looking things where they cut
They
the
were like-
umbilicus, and then they have butthole fungus that spurts
Yeah.
out. Like, I'm
Oh my
like,
god, yeah. Isn't that
the flumbob goes into the trumbull.
you need to get the seeds from the butthole, Morty. You need to get them from the butthole.
Morty,
In a
just-
violent nature.
In a violent nature, thank you. That's what it was. So the guy's accomplice who dies and doesn't say fucking anything, and it's probably just a director suited up in something, keep it cheap.
Yeah.
This is kind of a masterclass on how to make a sci-fi movie in the cheapest form, but still make it look really good. It's just the story sucked.
It was based on a 15-minute short film.
Really? Was it 1 hour? Was what it felt like.
Yeah.
It must be like
The
the way
15-minute
Interstellar is on that planet. where
Yes,
it's
yes.
like
Yes.
7 minutes
listen-
is a fucking lifetime on Earth.
This is what they did on that planet in Interstellar for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's why they had to have the tidal waves come through. They were like, nah, fuck that. It's too much.
And then all of a sudden at the end of the film just says tarot.
Tarot. And then cut back to him.
Which fucking car was this? It's the
Holy
Six of
shit.
Knives. God.
No.
It's our previous episode. All right. So fast forward, they finally meet up in the mercenary. Shit happens, and they have the lady that doesn't speak English. Which, by the way, they write in this weird spacey look, even though they speak English. And then the music, if it doesn't have actual like lyrics, it's like, you know. But the lady keeps on like jamming French music from the '60s, bossa nova music, like at top volume, so they can't hear what she's saying. Instead of just being like, switch to a different channel.
Right.
Why are we blasting music?
Knowing that, yeah.
Oh, they might hear me through my helmet.
Fucking annoying.
Well, then whisper or walk over somewhere. I don't know. You don't have to sit there and be like, you know.
Be like, hey, like, I feel like if I were in a secret little whatever, I would have like a little key, like a little look, and I'm like, yeah, we're switching to code 2.
Yeah.
We're switching to this station because we know that's our secret station when we want to talk shit about people.
Right.
Again, very much like a Rick and Morty episode's like, could you choose anything else? We don't mind not hearing. Just choose anything else. Why don't you just walk 20 feet over there?
Jeez, Rick. I feel like my Morty is just Lisa right now, though. That's all
oh, my God. In an alternate universe.
Basically the same character.
I don't think he liked the chicken hat, Rick. I don't think he liked the chicken hat.
Shut the fuck up, Morty.
Morty, the chicken hat was necessity. Necessity.
Oh, so good.
So eventually, like, shit goes sideways because Pedro Pascal's character doesn't have an arm anymore because she had to cut it off in this other place, and he's not a digger, as they call it, digger, which is basically like it's like a variation of space clam diving, but for gold.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
so it's like a miner.
Except the clams will dissolve if you do it wrong.
Yeah. So they kill all the bad people, and
there was that random slave in a box.
Yeah. It's a slave in a box.
He wasn't gonna do anything.
Yeah, and we're
it's
like,
not funny that a slave is in a box, but
we
was
say
just
prisoner. Really,
like,
he's not really.
Yeah,
a slave.
he wasn't.
He was a prisoner.
Yeah, but we don't know why he was a prisoner. He's just there.
Right. He was just covered in pink dust.
Yeah, and he like easily beats the shit out of everybody. And
how did he get out of the box?
Because there's like, well, they alluded to it through in the background. You had to look for it, where they shot the box. And so stray bullets hit the box, and then you're supposed to assume that he was able to get out because of that.
That's a shit box.
Yeah, like why couldn't he break it out before? If it, banging on it.
What's the need of having fluorescent lights too? Like they gave him oxygen, they don't give him a suit, but then they gave him like
an illuminated box.
Yeah.
They wanted to have him sit.
First, you cut the hole in the box. 2. You put your prisoner in that box. 3, you shoot the box, and that's how you do it. It's a prisoner in a box.
I was waiting for that. The punchline.
God, it doesn't feel like November. Anyway, so it feels like summer because of the damn heat. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's still fucking hot. And back in Colorado, they just had the biggest fucking snowstorm. They had a snow day today.
Wow.
They had a snow day today.
So they're getting. That's what I saw. Like it's just stopping at a certain point, and then everybody else is just going through shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of Washington, is that a snowstorm?
Yeah,
that's the sound of a snowstorm.
Hold on, hear it coming.
What's that banging on the window?
Sounds like a big truck.
A big truck.
Does sound like a big truck.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a big truck.
All right. So
Jenny, that one was for you.
God. Do you do drugs on this episode? So
Jamie gets it.
Fast forward. By the way, I totally didn't check this. This is so sad. Pedro Pascal lives or dies. He lives.
We don't even know.
I don't know.
No, it's unclear.
Yeah.
He's sitting passenger seat as they're riding up to the space station, and the chick, Sophie, gives like a smiley face, right? Like she's finally happy for once. And that's where it ends. We don't know if he lives.
He probably
or
dies, and she's just like,
probably dies. So
good.
she's like, yeah.
And she's like, I got
wanted you to
everything
live.
I wanted.
Yeah.
Who needs a father figure?
I'm the father now. I'm the father. She just holds up the like diamond and just bashes his head or something. Like it was
Tom
the whole
Hanks
plan.
comes in. She goes, no. I'm the father now.
He's just like in his house. Who are you? He's in his fucking bathroom or something, like shaving. Just shaving. He's like,
I'm the father.
the fuck out of my house.
I'm the father now. You're fucking 17. What the shit?
Okay, who the fuck are you?
So that's the end of the film that felt like 2 hours, but was only like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Did we ever get that budget? Somebody was supposed to look at the budget.
I had the trivia. You stole some of my
Okay, fine.
trivia.
I'll look for the budget.
I was doing the summary.
Budget was less than $4 million.
That was all going to Pedro.
Yeah, for real. For real. So
Special effects. We made Pedro.
Unless he allegedly, the director's allegedly.
Dan Savage? He was there. He had dirt.
Daddy, Derek, that looks so cool in that space
Allegedly.
outfit.
Allegedly.
Are we going to go ahead and hunt for sperm
Where's my
diamonds?
blaster? Blast him. Fuck it, bitch. No, apparently Pedro Pascal approached Christopher Caldwell and Zeke Earl about the film.
Really?
Like he wanted to be in it.
Oh,
So this was
that's cool of him, actually. All right,
about a $4 million budget,
okay.
and it only
And?
grossed $22,777, and that's worldwide too.
Oh. That's gotta hurt. That's a fucking punch to the dick. Holy shit. Have we had a movie yet that has done this bad? Like that has done this poorly in the box office?
No.
Holy mother of Pete the Cat. That's crazy.
I think fucking Cool Cat made more money. Like,
Oh my god, did Cool Cat make more fucking money than that?
I don't know, but probably. I mean, they
have no
filmed it
budget
with
info.
a fucking potato. I mean, like,
Holy smokes, that's insane.
that's making Cool Cat be like, that's fucking the Nazi babies probably made more money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Or no, demon babies. Sorry, not Nazi babies.
I don't think there were Nazis anywhere. Zombie babies?
Zombie babies.
Zombie babies.
Sorry.
Biker babe.
Warrior biker babe.
Warrior-
and the zombie
biker
babies
babe.
from hell. That's what it
Yes.
was. Yeah.
Basically Nazis.
Yeah, there you go.
Zombie babies from hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why we believe in abortion, you fuckheads. Speaking of abortions, this fucking movie.
Yeah, what the fuck was this? Oh, she's got
All right,
facts.
so the Biker Warrior Babe, their budget was only $10,000.
Good for them.
Nice.
But of course, they really didn't release it anywhere except for Tubi. So I don't know how much money we made.
Oh,
5 cents.
yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
But still.
because we streamed it one time. They've got
Yeah.
5 cents.
They got that 5 cents. They were like, they woke from their coffins to be like, what?
Yeah.
5?
I just want to know that, like, poor Samantha, who's like dead, didn't get to see them fire live rounds into the fucking forest.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Bang, bang, and they're throwing real Molotovs in the goddamn.
Yeah, there was no special effects budget. They just fucking did it.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Anyhow, screenplay.
God. All right, I'm gonna go first on this one. Usually I pitch it.
Ooh.
5.
Whoa. That's high.
It's coherent. The reason why it's coherent, it is forward, it's poorly paced.
It is very, very poorly
Yeah.
paced.
I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's closer to mine. I gave it a 3.
See, the thing is, the reason why I say I boost up points is because there's a beginning, middle, and end. You know what's going on. It's fluid. It's just poorly paced, and it's not really a story that grabs you, because we've seen where there's stories where it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Going back to like Blue Belt.
Right. But with that kind of movie, you still kind of understood it, even though you know what fuck was going on. It was still coherent. I didn't think this was coherent, and
thought it was.
I got kind of lost with all the jargon and like.
I think, yeah. No, that's where I would have that's why I docked it down in the screenplay, is because the language alone was just so confusing that I literally, like, it was just so complex, and for what?
That's why I said if you look at it as a Rick and Morty episode, it makes total sense all of a sudden.
It really does. But the fact that
it was trying to take itself, and it was trying to take itself seriously too.
Yeah.
Like again, if it was trying to not take itself seriously because it's a Rick and Morty episode, then it would have been totally different.
Like a one-off movie that is set in this, they try to do so much world building, I feel, in such a short amount of time. I mean, you look at like Star Wars or Dune movies. Those are like crazy long because they have a lot of world building to get through, and they do it in a way that's not...
I was trying not to make it sound
utterly confusing.
Yes. They do it in a way that's not super confusing. Like, they don't overload you with the language. Like Star Wars, you can follow it. Are there a bunch of things that you're like, what is this? This is brand new. This is something strange. The places and people. What is that? But the overall fucking words that they're saying aren't like, I'm going to put the jiggly poof in the doobaloop.
Yeah, I just pictured though, but the Star Wars
20 million
Star Wars has an old man
shankers
who takes a young boy into his care. It says, I have something to show you.
Yeah.
Your father had one just like it. Knew him well.
No.
He's like, what?
What are you doing?
No, I think, yeah, anyway.
No. I mean, language, and also, I don't know, I feel like some of the story plot points were just like, what the
Stupid.
fuck?
Yeah.
Like
Sucks.
dad dying and having zero impact whatsoever in the story.
Well, impact on her anyway.
I mean, at all in the story.
Well,
What did
at
he
all,
do?
like,
What did he add to the story?
Exactly.
Besides, like, being the one person who could apparently de-oyster the fucking space egg.
Space sperm.
Right.
The space sperm.
Yeah. Like what's funny is when you
From
cut it
the
open, it
womb.
looked like a testicle.
It looked like he pulled a fetus from the womb, but the fetus was a testicle.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain.
That had a diamond inside of it.
And this is the world.
Is this like
that
a
liberals
pro-life
want.
commercial we don't know about? Look, life begins at conception. This is the diamond.
But if you don't do it just right, though.
It tastes like,
I wish men's balls
what is this?
would do that.
Captain. Fuck?
You know, you
Do what exactly? You
Have
wish there was
diamonds-
diamond in there?
Have diamonds in there.
No. only.
I wish men's balls would do that. And I was describing.
Only the good ones. The others can dissolve.
So how you tell what a good man is if he has diamonds in his balls?
No, guys are going to get like piercings of like diamond studs on his balls.
Men have saggy balls.
Oh, God.
It's because they've dissolved.
Just like this beautiful brown turkey gizzard with diamonds in it. Oh,
I'm
boy.
loving my analogies tonight.
Nonsensical craziness.
I think they make perfect sense.
All right. So, direction.
I gave it a 4.
Same.
I gave it 5. It was
Because
all right.
again, stuff with the screenplay, like her not being dramatic when her dad died, or
It could be a
when
personality.
he
Yeah,
wa-
but like any emotion, anything.
well, and then like when he was getting his arm cut off, it wasn't like, he's like, oh,
He was numb, dude.
oh.
And he was not doing that at all. He was like, he was freaking the fuck out when he was getting that done.
Yeah, I did like, but for
I don't
her,
think-
she was like,
No, she was enjoying herself, it
I
felt
know,
like.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying.
did.
But then she
may have
explained
been
why.
a sociopath.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was getting the vibe that she was just built that way.
But the thing is, then she explains later on, like you were about to say, that, oh, well, I've been through some stuff. So, like, is she
Yeah.
just desensitized?
I feel like she is. Like she's
or
some
is she
sort
a
of
sociopath?
maybe
Or
a little
both.
Yeah, maybe a little bit,
Mm.
little bit, or maybe how did you put it? The tism.
Yeah, a touch of the tism.
Yeah, touch of
Yeah.
the tism.
She may have had that.
I feel like that should be a black metal song.
A touch of the tism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what did you give it?
I gave it 5.
Okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. That's what I give acting.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal did some heavy lifting.
Pedro
though.
Pascal was the only one
That's why I gave it a
found
7. That arm
if it
cut
was
thing?
just him alone,
Oh,
Gave
it would
a
have been like a
4.
solid 9.
yeah.
I gave it a 4 because all those 4 points went to him.
Well-
That's what I'm saying. He's the only one I enjoyed.
Yeah. I agree. 100%.
Everybody else was
But he was so
boring.
good at some of the parts, especially the
was.
arm cutting scene. I was like, damn, that's
He was
good.
so good. Or that what was that one line you and I both laughed at? It was like,
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was just so very casual. She was like,
Well, he was in a negotiation too.
yeah, but
It
he
was-
said it so funny. He was like, okay.
okay.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I've done that in negotiations too, where I see something they're thinking I'm going to react. I'm like, okay, then that's it. That's it. So I was like, that's realistic. I could solely see that happening.
Which I love. I love him so much. He's where all the points go to. I just couldn't stand anyone else.
Mm.
Boring.
Cinematography.
I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 6 too.
Gave it a 7 because there were some couple creative shots.
There were
that I
some
liked.
fun shots.
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
Good stuff. I like the way they depicted space, especially with the way they shot it. It's good.
Mm.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Editing.
Yeah. I gave that a 7. I thought the shots themselves were edited fine. I think it's where direction comes into play, where it was poorly timed, but I think the shots themselves were fine.
I gave it a
Like
4.
edited together.
I gave it a 2.
Whoa.
Because I took it as, the editing of the film, like with the pacing and just like, is this a good place to put this place? You know what I mean? The shots and stuff like that. And I just thought it was poorly done.
The pacing is what made me ding it to death. It was just 4. The pacing is horrible.
I gave that to director.
It could have been director. I mean, I don't know.
Could've
Because they
been
could
both.
be in the editing room and just tell them, like,
Right.
I want this. But,
I mean, you right.
yeah.
Who's to say? I said, you right.
Oh, I thought you meant I write as in writer.
I-
was like, oh, yeah. But
Yeah, no, it's the young lingo. You right.
special effects.
I gave it an 8.
Yeah. Space scene looked
I gave
hyper realistic. Yeah, I gave it a 7 too.
Yeah, especially like with the bullet hole in his arm. That was
I feel
done
like
well.
everything looked
See,
all
I dinged
right.
it for the using cheap material. They did great with the NASA punk. They did great with the space scenes.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things I liked about the special effects, but using the little expandable foam, this will fix you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
So-
kind of weird.
Overall,
That's why he got a infection.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Overall,
is this from Home Depot?
overall.
Shit, it's Lowe's.
5.
Okay, 5,
5.
6,
Skip
Skip.
it.
skip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so boring.
What's our fun fact, by the way?
I mean, we kind of gave some of them throughout.
Right.
Yeah.
We did.
Like she was 17.
Oh, well, that's not really fun.
Like,
fact.
I mean,
The
They didn't-
overlay.
Pedro Pascal
was
went to
42.
the writers.
No, it's-
Was he?
Well, I
don't know.
mean,
Mm.
didn't it take like a long time for them to shoot because she was 17?
Yeah, it took like,
46 days or something.
yeah.
when I was 17.
17.
Do you want more fun facts?
I thought there'd be more fun facts. Like,
There really wasn't.
really
I looked
wasn't,
it up.
yeah.
A lot of them were just like the song used in this moment was Herbert Bahona by
Space opera.
Shabba Badur.
gotcha.
I
Okay.
was like, okay.
There's not enough people that watch
Cool.
this to even make a fun
Right.
fact.
But you know what is a weird fun fact? If you look it up, the fucking Rotten Tomatoes score, you want to guess what that was?
80 something percent?
Yeah, 89. Almost a 90%.
Fucking A.
That's insane.
People or critics?
I believe critics. I don't know what the people. I bet you the people score.
See, this is why Tom-
No, my God, 73 for people.
So,
No way is it that good.
So the higher the, I always get confused with Rotten Tomato.
The higher the rating, the better it is.
Oh,
we've
Yeah.
established this many a time.
So the
I know. I always forget though.
many a time.
So
I
the
always forget.
tomato meter is almost a 90, and the audience
And
score is a
that's-
73.
So this is why Tom Hanks called critics cocksuckers, because of how
yeah, why did
you see that
take
article?
from this? No, I
Money,
didn't.
Yeah.
money.
it was weird because I think it was Variety, but they were like, yeah, he playfully said critics are cocksuckers. I'm like, whoa, I don't know if that's playful. I
That's-
never heard of a playful
No.
term for that.
But the thing is, not talking about your thing, but
Let's just
the
skip over that.
89%.
I am the captain now.
That's maybe where some of that 4 million went.
yeah, for
Tom
real.
Hanks?
Allegedly.
Was
Yeah.
allegedly
For
to
what?
the to the critics, because to make so little and yet get such good scores, and for what?
I don't know.
It wasn't good. It wasn't enjoyable at
Your
all.
Monster was I wish, but we would have watched that again instead.
I've never seen.
It's good.
Oh, that's the one you watched.
Yeah.
Why was I thinking? Oh, A Monster Calls. I also haven't seen that, but that's the one I know of with the little boy.
When a Stranger Calls Again. I hate that fucking movie. Even with riff tracks, it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Especially with the hair, the fucking hair. Anyway.
A rabbit?
Oh man, she has a mullet.
Oh.
I'm like, that's one way
Yeah,
to keep
she
a guy
does.
away from you.
You know, mullets are coming back.
They're here, but they're going away, I think. I think people had their fun. I think the same thing with mustaches. I'm starting to see less and less of them. It's almost people are like, I forgot this takes maintenance. I'm like, nah, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, and they're icky.
And then when I see these giant, like, Branch Davidian beards, I'm like, dude, all right,
You mean
whatever.
the Duck Dynasty beard?
Yeah, like that's, I understood like the well-trimmed thing, but the whole like I'm going to grow it out until it looks like I'm a prospector, hence the movie. Maybe don't. It just don't.
You're
Yeah.
like,
What are you going to do? Like vote for fucking the guy who went against Lincoln or something? Because that's what it looks like, you know?
Anywho.
All right, so when we come back, we'll tell you what the Wheel of Whatever gave us for the
fun
next
wheel.
film. And what? I know we said sci-fi opera. What was the next spin?
Psychological mystery.
Psychological mystery. Okay, and that's gonna be the conversation
Let's talk.
with Gene Hackman, who is probably the second best person to drop F-bombs in a movie. The first being Samuel L. Jackson. There's this way that the way they say "fuck" is great.
I love it. Wow. That's an interesting take.
Yeah, it's just I don't know why Gene Hackman. I know Samuel. Everybody agrees with Samuel L. Jackson. When he drops like F-bombs, it's
Mother.
Right.
yeah, it sounds good. It sounds pointed. Gene Hackman just kind of has this way of like, ooh, hey, you said that, man. Oh wow.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm ready.
All right. Let's
when we
do
get,
it.
we'll have the
Strap in.
conversation
About the conversation.
about the conversation. Conversationception.
Conversation?
Conversation squared.
I don't know. All right, we'll be back.
Fuck.
Okay, and we're back with the conversation starring Gene Hackman, and it was made in 1974, rated PG when PG could be anything.
Yeah. Wow.
It took a little bit to be an R.
Holy crap. PG?
Yeah, that was rated
Yeah.
PG.
Oh.
Remember I told you before we even watched it, but it was PG 1974, so who knows?
Yeah, you can have like nudity in PG back then, so as long as it was a certain way.
So technically, if you really wanted to show this in like a classroom.
Oh.
Yeah. You can watch Jaws.
Fun.
It's that's PG. So this was you can find it on Paramount Plus, and I think I mentioned it's Gene Hackman. So this was our psychological mystery off of the Wheel of Whatever, which I think we'll be doing again because it really makes us reach for things that many people may have seen or not have seen, especially the conversation, since I guess it was considered Gene Hackman's best film.
Mm-hmm. And his favorite.
That's his favorite film?
Yeah.
For him to act
That's
in.
for him to act in, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he had definitely a large range. Who wants to do the summary on this sucker?
Well, let's go ahead and get with the writers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Writers.
The writer and the,
Writer
and the
and
director.
director.
Again.
Yep.
Francis
Oh, that's right.
Ford
Francis Ford Coppola.
Coppola.
Yeah. Well, this is only one, so that's probably why. It's not.
Better?
Yeah. It's not as bad.
Not as bad.
Not as
Better.
bad.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So, summary.
We can all kind of do that. So let's just start off with the opening scene.
Yeah. Of him tailing a couple, well,
The dancing mime.
two people in the park who are having a very interesting
Conversation.
that you don't
Seems
hear
very
all of.
benign.
Yeah, it seems very benign. It seems very normal. They kind of seem to know that they're being followed a little bit at certain points.
Right. And so, like, of course, they're trying to be as careful with their words as possible. And like make sure that they're walking where the music's playing in the park. And so if somebody is watching them, they don't know. They can't hear through the recording devices.
Right.
Yeah.
But lo and behold,
Gene Hackman's character is very good at what he do. And what he do is he listens.
So yeah, they have the typical listening van. But what's interesting, and if you've seen Enemy of the State, with some of their listening devices, you see the really early versions of these things, where one guy's on the roof with a directional microphone. There's another person following him with a bag that also has a microphone and an earpiece that's pretty damn obvious.
Right.
And then you have the van that's doing the recording, and there's like 3 different recordings, and you don't know exactly why. Again, the conversation is benign, and it just seems like they are just following this couple, and you just have no clue. And matter of fact,
Right.
throughout the entire time, you really don't have a clue at all until way later in the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you can put pieces together and like make assumptions, like
Right.
thinking, oh, is he? Oh, he's a private investigator. Oh, maybe these 2 people are. I don't even know.
You know, at one point, I thought that the girl was pregnant with the he's not the mistress,
The mister?
the mister,
The Mister.
and like that's why they were gonna rendezvous at the secret point later on, because of just some of that poignant conversation where, oh, look at him, he's like a baby with the going to the mother, you know, he's somebody's son.
Yeah.
And I think it's
I
important.
was totally off.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that right off the bat, we are introduced to Gene Hackman's paranoia and just distrust of people around him. I mean, he gets a birthday present and he's like, how did you know? How did you know it was my birthday? How did you know my age? How was it in my apartment?
Actually,
Did
didn't he
alarm
say?
go off?
Didn't he say like, what was it? He asked the person like, so how old do you think I am? And then he goes, and they're like, well, 44. And he's looking at the card.
Yeah, where it says 44.
It
Yeah.
says, yeah.
Yeah, and he's on the phone with the person that gave him the card, and they just go, well, 44, and he's like, that's close. Like you won't even
Yeah.
say that you're right.
Interesting. Well,
what-
he was 42.
Well, I think he was lying though, isn't he?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know, but a fun fact is that when the movie came out, he was 44.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's very funny. Yeah. But I mean, the only thing he seems to enjoy for himself is his little saxophone.
It's
Which
probably worth-
kind of seems like a really sad dude.
Which also is, by the way, he learned the saxophone explicitly for this part.
You're stealing all of my fun facts.
I'm
man.
sorry.
I have.
You're
them
not
pulled
saying
up.
that fast enough.
I know. I was waiting for the moment. I was waiting for the moment. Sam.
Sometimes you just got to jump right in.
My bad. Let me just speed these off real quick before Sam.
Well, so we have I'm going to say first and foremost, as the plot moves along, it goes from, we have this conversation, we go to his personal life where he has his birthday, but then he's really, really cagey about it. Then he goes over to this girl who I believe he was on the phone with her, right?
Possibly.
I couldn't tell by the
I don't know
sound of
because
the
like
voice
he's
or-
like, oh, you got to call me back at this number because I don't have a phone.
No,
Or
I thought that was at the payphone though.
oh,
That's like in the middle of the film. So he's still celebrating.
that was in the beginning of the
I thought that was also in the beginning.
Well, I felt more like in the middle because remember, he's on the phone in his house, and then he goes, or his apartment or house, whatever. Then he goes to the woman that he is kind of dating.
Mm-hmm.
And she even mentions like, I've seen you just staring at the door for an hour. And we're trying to figure out why he's so cagey, why he's so paranoid. Is this guy like got a mental hang up or something? Or is it because of his job? And we're all kind of guessing. And then, so they sleep together and they celebrate with a glass of wine.
And she's just asking random questions like every
yeah.
person would act. And he's like, why are you asking me so many questions?
Yeah. It's
Don't
so
ask me that.
super weird.
I just want to get to know you. Nah.
Although she kind of did
Well-
act weird too, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and it really did capture like what a normal apartment looks like, which I really appreciated.
Right.
Then you go to back to his job, and he's trying to do these recordings. He's trying to be very specific. He's trying to craft his job, and again, he's very like particular and weird and just odd to the point where his partner's like, screw this, man. You're being really weird, because he's like, you want to get a drink? No, shut up. I'm trying to listen, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
because he won't even, because his partner, he's like, oh, what are you working on? I'm not going to tell you. It's private.
That is true.
Yeah.
He was being very like reserved about everything.
Right. And then he's like, this isn't the only time they've done this, and da-da-da. I'm your partner. I should have a right to know too. I mean, we're paraphrasing here.
Yeah, we're trying to speed through, because this is a hugely slow burn, like the slowest burn movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a big slow burn.
Yeah, and so you're building it, and it feels like you're just hanging out with this guy the entire time, because it's so the slow burn effect is such that it feels kind of real in a way, like super realistic, in the sense that you don't have a lot of ambient music involved unless it's in what they're listening to. Like there's a few piano hits on the soundtrack, but for the most part, you're just following Gene Hackman with no background music. It's just, if there's traffic, there's traffic. If there's house, it's a house.
And actually, a fun fact about the music, the composer of it made all of it beforehand, and then they would play it for the actors to like get them in the mood for the scene. Like whatever they did have music, they played it beforehand. Kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
On the good old vinyl.
See, I came prepared more with these fun facts than we did for the first film.
Well, I don't think there really was much fun facts when you make $22,000 off of your film.
Yeah,
there was
really
fun
facts.
Yeah.
It's like, fun
especially
fact,
with
we
the budget
lost.
that happened.
Now I kind of feel bad. You know.
Oh, the budget for this.
Oh, yeah. So what's the budget?
Okay, so it was approximately $1.6 million for the budget, and it made $4.8 million.
That's probably a very good success in 1974.
Yes.
So,
but I kind of get it, but I'll talk about that later.
Okay, yeah. So eventually, I'm trying to think when exactly, because it's builds. He then goes to his client, I believe.
Yeah.
Or no, does he go? No, actually, he goes to the guy who is fronting the client or something like that. Almost like the personal assistant,
kind of like the in between person.
Yeah,
who's played by Harrison Ford, a young Harrison. Young.
Yeah,
1974. Well, when was Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark made? Because he was 38 there.
I thought that was in the 80s.
Yeah, but he was 38 there. And so I'm wondering, he had to be either in his late 20s, early 30s in 74. Because I think it was 1982 for Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm not 100%. Because he made it right after Star Wars. 1981. Okay. So, yeah, he was in his 30s.
Damn.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
unlike Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman was born looking like that, I swear. we saw him in another film. What was it? Something Nights.
Talladega.
Night Moves.
Oh.
Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights.
Word association.
I remember him from Heartbreakers. Okay, with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh yeah.
I
Played the old
Jennifer
rich guy.
Love Hewitt.
Yeah,
I've never seen that movie.
I
But
will have to watch it.
Yeah, Jennifer Love
it's
Hewitt was in what was the Ghost TV show?
Oh yeah,
Ghost Whisperer.
Ghost Whisperer.
I've watched that too.
I love Ghost Whisperer. So
I just think immediately of that Family Guy skit where they're like, "Why are these ghosts coming to me?" And they're just alluding to the fact it's your boobs.
Boobs.
Yeah, boobies, like that one team that we versed in the horror trivia.
In the horror trivia,
Yeah.
boobies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bzz.
There we
All
go.
right. And
So okay, so they meet up with them, and we figure out, okay, he's a private investigator. He was hired to follow this couple, but we still don't know why he's weird. Then we find him going to a Catholic. But I forgot. I skipped a little part. So he's also mad at his partner because he used the Lord's name in vain for Christians and so forth. So he's a Catholic because eventually you see him go to confessional and confess
Very
some
devout.
things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very devout.
Remember that little boy that was in the church that I was like, why is that random little child in there? Apparently that was Coppola's son.
Oh.
Which is probably why he was just hanging out by himself and then doing his own little thing.
He's just like in the shot.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be in the movie. Okay, you be in this one shot.
Get out of there. Get out. You're supposed to. No, don't get down on your knees. Get out.
Don't get on your knees.
Down to pray.
Just throws like one of the candles at him. Stop it.
Stop.
So it's painting the picture of you are trying to figure out what Gene Hackman's about, why he's so cagey, why he doesn't want to, he like wants to change the lock on his post office box because of the fact that he got a card for his birthday. He wants to go to a combination lock, and if you were ever lucky to find one of those mailboxes, they're actually highly sought after collector's items, from what I understand. If you find a combination mailbox, I had one when I was in college, which that's the only reason why I know about that little factoid, because someone's like, yeah, you actually guys still have those, because those are like, they don't exist anymore practically. And that was back in 2003, 4.
Well, and throughout the movie too, like we're trying to hear bits and pieces of this conversation, because we're trying to figure out why, Harrison Ford's character is like, don't.
You kind of feel like the partner, where it's like, what the hell's going on? Because he's listening to it and it's playing over the speaker, so the partner's hearing bits and pieces too, and he's like, what do you do? What is this? So eventually you go to this function, which apparently is functions for like listening in on people, all these gadgets and so forth.
Well, it's like a convention. Everybody has a convention for everything.
I wanted to go to that convention.
And that was
I want to have a bunch of spy tools. It's at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Is it a spy convention?
Well, it's a bunch of spying tools.
Yeah.
So I would say
they probably
private
wouldn't
investigator
but
function?
they probably wouldn't call it spy, because then
that's what I would call it. That's what I would always get at the Scholastic Fair as a kid, is the spying tools that were all garbage. Like
they have X-ray vision.
You could put this up to the wall and listen.
And
like
it's a
glass.
cup.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking like probably like PyCon or like private investigator convention, because they were all kind of private investigators, really.
Right.
And these guys are all from the United States, and they're hanging out, and this is based in San Francisco, by the way. And what was interesting was the fact that he started loosening up a bit, but then Harrison Ford's there, and he's like, why are you following me? He's like, I'm not following you, I just put 2 and 2 together. You live in San Francisco and there's a convention with all of you here.
Right. But he was following.
Yeah, he was trying to find him.
him.
Yeah, because he's like, I need the tapes. We paid for you for the tapes. Give me give me the tapes.
Give me the fucking tapes.
Yeah, and so he's like, well, I'm still working on them, and whatever. And we still don't know why he's so caging, why he's not getting the tapes to him. He was hired to do it. So we're like, what in the world's up with this dude? And so they go out and they party, and for whatever reason, a Mustang passes them. There's this car chase that ensues, and that's only to basically razz the guys that passed them, kind of like douchebags or whatever, just to say they knew where they lived and everything else with this phone call. And then they go party at his office, which is just this industrial building, single floor that is empty, most of it, except for this cage that has all this stuff. They start sharing all this stuff, and one of the guys actually planted a bug on him, and he plays the car, like the recording back to him, and he gets all pissed off about that and kicks them all out. And they're like, man, you need to loosen up, blah, blah, blah. This girl has been there's a couple of girls they were with, but this one girl is just like insanely all over him. And you're just like, this doesn't make sense, because
it's definitely what is happening later. Like, when people are looking at, is there a term called for that? But I know it's been happening lately, like in the like celebrity news, where, you have this guy that doesn't look like he belongs with this girl, but they're together.
I don't know if
I think there is a term for that.
Besides Odd Couple.
I think there is a term for that. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I feel like you're right.
I don't know.
Because I remember you saying something about one of the celebrities, but I can't remember which one.
Salman Rushdie and anybody?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. So this girl's all over him, even though he's like kind of pushing her away, but then he warms up a little bit. And what's weird, he's like, he finally loosens up a bit, and then only to have that recording happen and kick him out. They end up sleeping together, but then he wakes up to find out the tapes are gone.
And she took them.
Yeah, she was obviously hired by the other guys to do what she had to do. She was a honeypot. So he's pissed off, goes to him and says, hey, well, actually, he doesn't go to him yet. There was a scene I skipped because he finally meets the client that hired him through the personal assistant and all this other stuff. And you find out the whole point of this was because of an alleged affair that he was concerned with.
Right.
And then so you're like, he's a private investigator, he's an affair, but why is he so cagey?
Right.
But there's a point during the party where you start getting hints of the fact that why he was cagey, and because his last case in New York was it went south. He turned in his investigation, and that investigation led to the murders of an entire family.
Right. And apparently a fucking brutal murder by the way it was described.
Yeah, they
and the way that he's been getting like PSTD.
Beheaded them.
Yeah.
PSTD.
PSTD.
Post syndrome traumatic disorder.
PT.
PT
like,
phone home.
PT.
PTSD. So
PTSD. But you knew what I meant, Juliana.
Yeah. What? Why did you call me out?
Yeah, I know.
Well, because Nick didn't understand.
I did understand.
Just kidding.
Ichabod.
Yeah.
Ichabod. I swear, somebody please be on my side.
Somebody.
No one's on your side.
Somebody needs to phone in.
They'll just fake it and be like, "Oh, I'm on your side." I can't do it.
I hope
I'm
so.
not on your side.
Oh.
So you find out he has PTSD from this, and that's why he's cagey, and he thinks he's being followed because he kind of already is, but he's also worried about the fact that, like, hey, killers, I worked for killers, and I didn't even know it. And so he went from New York to San Francisco, and so you're starting to see the development of how you got to where you're getting. So you're kind of unraveling a mystery of Gene Hackman's character, Harry, as well as the story that's kind of developing everywhere else. And then it comes to a head where he finds out, like, okay, I know from the recording that I heard that they're going to be at this hotel, so I'll go over there and I'll see if I can stop the murder from happening.
Right.
So he starts to bug the hotel, and he hears arguing, but he's also getting PTSD flashbacks from the recording itself.
So you don't, and it's kind of hard to distinguish what's
real, yeah,
right.
and what's not.
And then there was the freaking jump scare.
Right. So he goes to the porch. He goes to the porch on the balcony, I should say. That is because he gets the room adjacent to the other room. And then he sees the murder happen, and he's thinking, oh, it's the woman. He's getting, he's killing her, and he just can't stand it. He doesn't know what to do. He's too afraid to go over there. And then I guess he passes out. Yeah. And then he wakes up and he checks it, and the room is clean until he flushes the toilet, and then it's clogged with blood and whatever was there. It looks like the plastic wrap that they used on the victim.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah. Which I was like, you cleaned up so well, except for that.
Except for, that's what we decided was messy
flush
about.
down the toilet.
Flush down the plastic. By the way, this movie was actually originally, the earlier concepts of it was going to be a horror film with Marlon Brando.
Oof.
Yeah. But it was supposed to be a horror film. Which,
I mean, horror films, I can see it.
I can see that.
Yeah, psychological horror.
That last little piece, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, because definitely it finally paid off. It just took fucking forever.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then when it did pay off really well. There's some great shots in there too.
Fantastic shots.
Transition was great. And then it rolls over to him seeing trying to go over to the guy. I'm like, I want to talk to him. He's like, he's not here. I need to talk to him. And then he kind of tries to fight up there, and it's just this really feeble attempt. And he's
really
like,
sad.
yeah, he just sits there. He's like, well,
and then he turns around a couple times, like,
no. Yeah, and he fixes his suit, and he's like, well, that was dumb. So he goes downstairs and he looks into the card that's obviously a personal business card for one of the rich folks in the building. So he's thinking it's the guy, the client that hired him. So he peeks kind of in there and he sees that the wife is actually there. And then he puts two and two together that the conversation he was hearing when he pieced all the things that were said was a murder plot for the husband.
Right.
And so he gets lastly, he's just like, okay, she's safe. And it kind of makes him feel calmer, even though she was the killer. Somebody? Yeah, it wasn't. He just was like, okay, it's not the client that did it, at least. And so he goes back and he starts. It was a client
who was murdered, though.
Right. And so he's like, and he gets $15,000 in frickin' 74 money. So he goes back to his place and he's like, you know what? I'm going to play my saxophone, relax. And he gets a call from the personal assistant that says, we're listening to you. And then he plays back the saxophone playing that he was just doing. He ends up ripping apart his entire apartment, destroying everything,
including Jesus,
including his Mary. Why do you keep on calling it Jesus? It's a statue of Mary.
Was it?
Yeah.
I believed you that it was Jesus.
It was so
I
Mary.
thought it was no, that was totally Jesus.
110% Mary.
No, I think it was Mary because she had the whole.
She had the garb, she had the vow, and then she had the open
didn't
arms.
Jesus wear that too?
No.
No.
I don't know. I wasn't raised with this shit.
No.
Jesus
I
had
don't know.
curly hair
Well,
with muscles
Muscles.
and glitter. Remember that painting
Oh, God,
we
that's
saw?
right. The bedazzled Jesus painting in a Burlington Coat factory. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I love it.
It was
If it
I
was
guess I'll believe you.
a little cheaper, we would have like bought it for
put it in the
fun's
bathroom
sakes.
so it looks like Jesus is watching
so
you.
Funny.
But we were like, are we really going to pay $50 for that? No.
Yeah, it was really pricey. I was like, I
Dang,
really want to
well,
do
it's a
that.
bedazzled Jesus.
Yeah. I think it had LED lights, didn't it? Or something like
No,
that?
it was like
That would be
sequins
way
and
cooler.
stuff.
We could probably make that.
Yeah, well, you know what'd be kind of funny is getting one of those Jesus paintings or like the Mary paintings where it's holding the baby Jesus, but have like Mary be William Dafoe holding Jack Nicholson or something with sunglasses, just repaint over it. Just be awesome. Where was I? Oh yeah, so it ends with the whole entire place ripped to shreds, him playing his saxophone alone and realizing he's just going to be followed and just fuck it. I'm done.
Yeah, he's
and then
just bugged
credits.
for the rest of his life. For
Yeah.
sure.
Really bugged him.
Damn. Oh, but
Oh,
That takes us out for this episode. No,
yeah, we're done. After that,
we're done.
it's good.
All right, so
I have lots of thoughts.
screenplay. Everybody's like, why'd you do that?
I rated it an 8. I thought, despite it being a slow burn, it was a lot. Everything went together so well. And it really was a mystery up until the end. And then the end was just, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Crazy. So,
yeah, I gave it a 10 because of the originality of it.
yeah.
And because, again, like, I really didn't see any plot holes in it. And I didn't, and it just kind of seemed to flow.
I gave it a 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was an
And
amazing
even-
story that
Sorry.
just cut me off. Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, just kidding.
No, even though it was a slow burn, I wanted to say, like, it still was interesting because it was like every scene kind of had a piece of puzzle that you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Direction. I gave it a 10. It was. I mean, everything was on Johnny on the spot.
I gave it an 8.
Oh, I gave it a 7. I really liked, there was a little touch that I found in the fun facts that was each time that he was re-listening to the recordings, if you notice, the voice inflections changed because his perception of what they were saying and understanding of the overall message was changing as he was listening to it. So
Nice.
they re-recorded the actor saying it multiple times in different kind of cadences
No
and
way.
tones.
I thought I was just like imagining things. I'm like, okay, maybe
I
he's
thought
just.
so too. I was
yeah,
like, I
Okay.
swear they didn't say it like that.
Because I was like, the first time was so benign, and I'm like, wait, they say it that way? Okay.
Yeah, it fucking
And then you
gaslights
have
you
this
throughout.
person
But they
All right.
didn't
purposely
realize
did that because
So
his
direction's
understanding
another
changed it.
10. I'm gonna hold my 10 very hard. Then
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm gonna die on that hill. But it's Francis Ford Coppola, so it's
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is also his favorite film. So of his.
Nick Cage's uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is he the wine dude?
Yeah.
That's where I know his name.
He did this, of course, first.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's Nick Cage went from, because he didn't want to be considered Nepo, so he was like, I'll call myself Nick Cage.
Oh,
And he named himself after the comic book, I think, if
Because
I remember right.
we were talking about Nick Cage, or we were talking about Coppola wine, and it was like, oh yeah, that's Nick Cage's uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I knew the name. Because it came up, and I was like, where the
It's
fuck
Nicholas
do I know
Coppola.
that? Oh.
He's an Italian. I wonder what, is he Napolitan, Calabrese, Sicilian? I wonder which one he is. I'll have to look that up. Those are different regions of it. Like
I figured.
yeah. Even though I'm Polish, I'm Calabrese. So
Wow.
Calabrese. All right. So, where are we at? Acting.
Acting.
I gave it a 7.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 9. Okay.
Well,
Jeez.
I thought Gene Hackman was really, really good.
Yeah.
I thought some of the, I don't think Mr. Coppola knows how to write women very well.
Oh yeah, the women were bad, but
Yeah.
the men were great. The men were
Right.
really great.
That's my thing. I'm like, I don't know if that was a screenplay thing or if that was an actress thing.
But yeah,
Directed
I think it was a
thing.
'70s thing.
Maybe a 70s thing, but those women were not great.
Yeah.
right.
So there's
Come
that.
on, don't you? Come on. Although, thinking about the family gatherings, I can kind of picture it. I don't know. I'm gonna hold fast on the judgment of the acting of the women. Cinematography.
I gave it a 10.
Cinematography.
I gave it a 7.
Spicy.
Cinematography.
I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
I love that transition though in that one in the room at the end. Oh my god. I
And there
love
was also like
that jumps scare with the blood.
But I really like the ending scene, and I think that's where I got most of my points because it was like showing all the different angles of him ripping and destroying his whole entire house.
Well, do you notice how both in the end and in the very beginning when he was in his house on the phone call with that chick or whatever, and he walked out of frame and then it panned over. It's supposed to simulate a security camera, like we're the viewers watching him.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
So like they
Cool.
did a couple of creative shots like that throughout the film.
Nice.
And you still give it a 7.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess.
In 1974 with celluloid, not even digital.
Cellulite?
Celluloid. Jeez.
No wonder the women were bad.
Wow, you guys are judgmental. Women do not stick together. As
yes, we
evidenced
do.
by November 5th. Anyway. Editing.
Too soon.
Very too soon. It's never going to be not soon enough.
That's true.
10.
Really? Editing is a 10?
Yes, because I really liked the whole, like I said before, like the slow burn, but it was all the scenes important.
I guess.
Okay, that's my opinion.
That's my opinion.
Don't judge me.
I gave it a 4.
Oh,
Because
damn.
it was too slow.
It was very slow.
Like I was sitting there and like, dude, this is only an hour and a half, I think, and it felt like 3-hour film.
Do you know what the original cut length was?
What?
3 hours?
4.5.
4.5. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
Holy
it was so
moly.
long. I actually gave it an 8. Just because I really loved the sound editing that went into it.
It was really good.
It was very good.
What is the runtime? I thought it was an hour and a half. Did they cut it down to an hour?
I think it was. Yeah, it was under 2 hours.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
like an hour 40. I think.
Oh, an hour 40. Okay.
Because I did look it up at one point because I was like, holy shit. This is long. This is lengthy. And it's not really. It's just.
A lot of long placing
scene.
shots.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that killed us is like the
Right.
long placing shot. Like even with the girl in the when he was back at his business and they're in the like just goofing around in the empty space and I'm just like, okay, we have established this, Francis. We have
Right.
established it. We can move on.
Or how many times did they say his name?
Harry.
Hey, Harry,
I was waiting for Harry to be like, shut up.
Stop talking about my name. Get my name out of your damn mouth.
So
And then we didn't have any.
no special effects
Special
really, except for a
effects,
little bit
really.
of blood here and there in the end, but not enough to really rank it. So we're not going to rank it at all. So overall,
7.
I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 7.
Nice. Wow, your freaking editing tanked it for you.
It was nearly a perfect film for me, except for the fact that it was
Just so long.
it didn't. I know I won't want to watch it again because I just don't want to trudge through it unless I
Right.
really like. I don't know. I just
No, I feel you there. Which
So
is why
you're
I said
skipping it?
no. I'm saying you should at least
you
watch
should
it once.
Stream it.
And if you're an avid collector, especially a Gene Hackman fan, you probably want to keep it. But for most people, it's going to be a stream.
Yeah.
I said it was a keep because I like the whole mystery aspect of it, and I want to watch it again to see what I can pick up beforehand.
Sound good?
Yeah.
I figured we would add
You're
this.
the
Know that.
mystery person for sure.
Well, the funny thing is, I figured we would add this collection because one, I'm a Gene Hackman fan, and I knew like as you were telling me your review, I'm like, we're gonna end this collection.
That's
So,
nice for you. Don't invite me over.
no, when we watch something Gene Hackman, I'll show you like things like Birdcage or
well-
Crimson Tide or
Heartbreakers.
Heartbreakers. There you
Heartbreakers
go.
or
Those are
Jennifer
fun
Love
ones.
Hewitt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god. I'm just a girl.
All right. Well,
All right.
Yeah.
so thanks for listening in. Good way to say like the conversation, right? You know, listening in the conversation.
Into the conversation.
Oh my God.
This has been bugged.
Yeah, I mean nowadays we just put bugs everywhere. I mean that character
It's literally
in today's
in our phone.
world, yeah,
Oh
phone.
my God, he'd be panicked.
Yeah, he's like, I just talked about couches and now I'm seeing it in my email.
What's this, Facebook?
What the hell? I set it around my Google Home. He just throws it out the window. Fuck you.
Off the grid.
How do you know me so well?
There's like that episode of Parks and Recreation where Ron Swanson literally throws his computer away because it asks because he gets cookies explained to him.
They're trackers. What?
Huh? Yeah, it just tracks all your data and it helps whatever. And he's like, nope, trash.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share us with your friends. Don't forget also check out our socials. We got Facebook. I know we don't update all that much, but we have.
We're going to try.
Yeah, we got Threads that's kind of stagnant, honestly. We got TikTok. We have a couple of videos on there. We have Facebook. And
But
also,
if you interact with us on those things, we'll post more.
Yeah, that's true. If you wish to make suggestions, you can email us at keepstreamskip@gmail.com. But also, if your podcast, favorite streaming podcast service, whatever, allows you to rank us, please do so. Vote for, however you think we did. But we would appreciate a perfect score if you got it. Most of them don't. So just share us with your friends.
Yeah.
But other than that, final thoughts as usual.
Have fun.
I love how you always jump to the microphone for last thoughts. Like, yeah. Wait.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.